This year brought us a lot of great and enjoyable games, from the sequel of the most anticipated titles to the arrival of some very interesting new games. If the world decided to go through a second quarantine, we would definitely have plenty of material to get us through the next few months. Unless you don't sleep until you kill all the final bosses in less than a week. Welcome to my channel, I'm Mythos. Today I'm going to show you some of our favorite games of the first half of 2021. Chivalry 2. If you have anger issues or have always dreamed of smashing a guy in armor over the head while screaming in his face, you should probably see a psychologist. Or buy Chivalry 2. This medieval combat simulator has managed to bring everything that made the first game good and make it even better. What makes Chivalry so special is that it's a game that really manages to make you feel like you're in a medieval siege. In this online game, 64 players face off in an epic pitched battle as defenders or attackers. As in games like Overwatch, Chivalry 2 has its own class system, in which each one is distinguished by the type of equipment they use. But don't get confused. Chivalry 2 is not your typical magic and sorcery game. It's an authentic medieval war simulator in which death lurks around every corner, and it can even come from the hand of an ally. That's right, if you start throwing swords in open exchange, you'll end up slicing up your own allies, so coordination and teamwork will be essential to claim glory on the battlefield.
Keep fighting, brothers! The wall is nearly ours!
Subnautica Below Zero. Stepping away from the war and epic sieges a bit, we have the sequel of one of the most unique survival games of its genre. That's right, we're talking about Subnautica. In this second installment, exploration, crafting, and shelter building come back stronger than ever, hand in hand with some of the most terrible dangers that lurks in every corner of this watery world. If you like swimming, get ready to wear that swimsuit, because in Subnautica, water is more than plentiful. Traveling through the world of Subnautica is a breath of fresh air in a survival game industry saturated by forests and green landscapes. In this marine adventure, the cold of this frozen land will become our worst enemy, forcing us to survive the low temperatures of the Arctic waters of planet 4546b, an oceanic planet where the weather might not be the only thing that ends up condemning us. Subnautica Below Zero offers us a totally new fauna, flora, and biome, in which a collection of resources is vital for our survival. If you enjoyed the first game, or would like to discover a world of survival different from the rest, look no further. Subnautica Below Zero is waiting for you. Griftlands. If you're a lover of RPGs and card games, you have to play Griftlands. The new masterpiece from the developers of Don't Starve has managed to blend these two genres to perfection, creating a highly replayable game in which our decisions really matter. What has fascinated us most about Griftlands is the way that it transformed turn-based combat into a highly entertaining and addictive experience, turning even those players who are used to real-time combat into fans of this genre. In Griftlands, we can explore its universe through the eyes of Sal, Rook, or Smith, the three main characters of its game. Each of them has a unique campaign, as well as their own deck of cards, which reflects the abilities of these characters. But its card system is not just limited to combat. For those of you who enjoy persuasion mechanics, the game offers a second deck that allows you to avoid most conflicts through a bit of negotiation and a lot of diplomacy. Definitely one of the most pleasant surprises we've had in 2021. Little Nightmares 2. After a long wait, Little Nightmares 2 has arrived to keep us awake this year. In this game, we must control Six, a 6-year-old girl who has to escape from the supernatural horrors that seeks to murder her. But don't be fooled by its visuals. The protagonists of Little Nightmares are not part of a children's story as their drawing style may have led you to believe at first. They live in an authentic world of nightmares, in which we find ourselves totally defenseless before the creepy monsters that camp out at ease. This game is quite similar to titles like Amnesia and Outlast, being a universe where our survival is based on how fast we can put one foot in front of the other. Every detail of Little Nightmares 2 is intended to build a truly terrifying atmosphere in a game full of puzzles and constant tension, which we had a lot of fun exploring. With an excellent horror story without dialogue, discovering Little Nightmares 2 was one of the best things that could happen to us in recent years. Hitman 3. It's finally here, boys. The third installment of Hitman. Technically, this is their 8th game, but I'll never understand how to list the titles of this saga. It's the living example of the phrase, if something works, don't touch it. Maintaining the same approach as in its previous installments, however, this does not make it less of an incredible title. Hitman 3 has managed to perfectly capture the essence of its best prequels, such as Blood Money. Like its previous 2 titles, Hitman 3 has one of the most thoughtful level designs in the gaming industry, which shows the developers' love for their franchise. If there's something that made the saga a multi-million-dollar success, it's the excellent execution of the stealth mechanics. In Hitman, we control Agent 47, a master in disguise and expert assassin. But don't let this fact keep you from seeing the game's true protagonist, its scenarios. Each murder can be solved in multiple ways, depending on the scenario in which we find ourselves and the creativity with which we decide to approach them, allowing us to solve our mission in the stealthiest way to prevent anyone from discovering us, unless you decide to grab an AK-47 and go guns blazing. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Adding a remaster to this list might feel like cheating, if only we weren't talking about the remaster of the best sci-fi game trilogy to be released this year. If you've enjoyed RPGs like Dragon Age Origin and Baldur's Gate, Mass Effect is one of the last memories we have left from the old BioWare. This sci-fi space epic let us experience an incredible story filled with unique characters to meet, romances, villains, and a great series of decision-making that can affect the ending of this epic tale. If there's something from which BioWare games were famous, it's for their replayability. Each game offers us the possibility of enjoying a new outcome totally different from the previous one, in a third-person role-playing and action world in which even our smallest decision can produce great outcomes. Although we have not yet had the chance to get our hands on this remaster, we had a great time playing the original installments, so we are very much looking forward to relive the epic story of Commander Shepard and his crew members. It Takes Two. It Takes Two is one of the most entertaining 3D platformer titles to play not only of this 2021, but of the last few years. In this cooperative platform games, we star as a funny couple about to get divorced who get trapped in the body of some talking dolls, being forced to overcome a series of challenges as they begin to rebuild their relationship in this series of wacky adventures. Having a married couple on the verge of divorce as the main characters is great, as it offers a totally different outlook. What this game really excels at, however, is co-op. Anyone who has played an online game knows how much fun it is to play with a friend. But if you add to this a good plot, good character designs, and a series of unique mechanics and puzzles, It Takes Two is a game that exudes creativity and fun all around. One thing we're sure of, there aren't many games that let you face a giant vacuum cleaner that manipulates time, while having a few laughs with your friends. Valheim. Skoll, brothers and sisters. Prepare your sacrifices and war horns, because Odin is waiting for us. Valheim is the first game in development that has made it its way to our list, thanks to its unique approach. In this game, building, resource gathering, combat, and exploration go hand in hand in this mythical world of Viking exploration, in which we will visit Valheim, the world we have been allowed to access after having the honor of dying in battle. As guardians of this world, Valheim allows us to discover its universe with up to 10 friends in a cooperative system that makes us have a great time. Although it still has a long way to go, the ambition of this project added to the possibility of building our own houses and ships, facing Odin's enemies and bringing back the vengeful bosses of myth and legends to send us back to the abyss, make Valheim an excellent title that we should keep our eyes on. Resident Evil Village.
Mia, get down.
We know. You came to this list to make sure that this title was on it. And there's a good reason why we decided to include it and place it in the top spot. Because in this saga, despite its failure and successes, it has managed to bring us one of the most entertaining horror games we have had the opportunity to try. In Resident Evil Village, we once again take the role of Ethan Winters, who must rescue his daughter from the village full of dangerous creatures.
Where the hell am I?
The latest installment of Resident Evil is not only limited to zombies. This game has once again surprised us with a new series of varied and challenging enemies added to the dose of puzzles characteristic of this genre, which make overcoming each scenario a real challenge in which our skills is tested. It is a title when we already think we know everything about it, appears to surprise us with a new crazy idea that we end up loving. Why do we consider Resident Evil Village one of the best releases of this year? Because it's fun, it's scary, and it managed to keep us glued to the screen until we finished it. With the first part of our year full of great releases, we can't wait to see what's coming in the next few months. What about you? What's been your favorite release from the first half of 2021? Let us know in the comments section below, and make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell to be alerted to all future video. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.